welcome to my channel. My name is Franca and I'm glad you're here. Today we are going to be reading sad books for an entire week, or at least books that I think are going to be sad, at least 2 of them. 2 I know are going to be sad, especially for me, but the first book is Girl in Pieces. This just looks like a sad book, and I think I might read this first because I'm just so excited. And then the other one is You'd Be Home Now, and these covers are so gorgeous, but like they look so sad. So we're going to read them this week. And then we have 2 that I've already read, but I've read them 2-3 years ago, so I want to reread them again. So we have A Dog's Purpose, which makes me sad because the dog dies, and one of the dogs in here is a German Shepherd, and I have German Shepherds, and it breaks my heart. And the last one we'll be reading is After the Fire, which is based on true events. It was the Seton Hall fire and 2 boys' stories who survived the fire. It is really sad. I got this book because these 2 guys came to speak at my school for a fire safety thing. Read like a sentence or 2 from the book, and I was like, oh my god, that writing is so beautiful. I need this book. So we bought it. I currently have to go to work, but I think we're gonna start with reading Girl in Pieces on my break, or before I have to go in when I get there, so you just sit in the car and read. And I will see you guys when we start. Hello everyone. I'm currently about 150 pages into this book, and it's roughly 400 pages. It's interesting so far. So it's about this girl named Charlotte, but she goes by Charlie, and she's in a psychiatric care facility, I think, for attempting. So she's there. She also has anger issues, and I thought it was really interesting how they described her being there. Now she's gotten out, and she is like starting over. She's from Minnesota, but now she has moved to Arizona to go stay with this guy who she used to be friends with, and that's basically where I'm at. Apparently, I completely forgot to film a rating for this book. So here I am as I'm editing. I'm giving this book a 3-star. I did enjoy some parts of it. I feel like it's very much like You'd Be Home Now. I did enjoy parts of it, but I didn't like other parts of it. Also, I feel like this book was like very chaotic. You know what I mean? Like, I think there are different parts of her life that could be a story all on its own, if that makes sense. We are on to our next book for these sad books, and I have Dog's Purpose. If you are an animal lover, this book is so sad. It is one of my favorite movies ever, and it is so sad. It makes me cry every time each dog's time is up. We're gonna get into reading this. chapter 4. All I can say, this is the saddest book ever. But they have cute different little dogs, those little icons, which is super cute. But the book's so sad. For now, I'm gonna keep reading. We are at the part where he's Ellie the German Shepherd, and I know this is gonna wreck me because the scene in the movie literally makes me cry so hard. In the movie, I think they like definitely had to like condense the book a little bit more. The police dog Ellie has like so much more to her than what it showed in the movie, if that makes sense. I feel like she had a bigger part to play in the book. I'm going to read the rest of this up camera because I know I'm gonna cry and I don't really want to film that. And I'll come back afterwards. I just finished A Dog's Purpose. I read it all in one day because it was like quick and easy. This book is one of my absolute favorites. It is 100% a 5-star. It was a 5-star last time I read it. It's a 5-star again. I love this book with every fiber of my being. I love the story. I love the movie. Obviously, it's not a dog writing the book, so we don't really like know how dogs feel, but I thought it was really interesting to see the perspective from like a dog being like, and there was like this one scene where he's like, Ethan gets so happy when I come running back to him with this ball, but he loves it so much, so I keep doing it. And I was like, that is something a dog would say. Like, you can't tell me that's not something a dog would say. But it's just, it's so cute. It is so sad. But it's like so heartwarming on the end. I really hope this is what happens to dogs when they pass. I know A Dog's Purpose is the first movie, and then there's a second one called A Dog's Journey. I don't know if that's a book, but I assume there would be a book. I definitely have to check that out, and I definitely want to read that. So that means we're on to the next book. I literally just spent 12 hours at the hospital. I just got home, and it's 5 a.m. right now. I went with my mom because she thought she had a pneumonia. Well, insane. And if this lighting sucks, I'm really sorry, but we came home, and the power was literally off. So that's fun. So literally all I have is this little flashlight to illuminate myself. So sorry if it sucks, but I just finished You'd Be Home Now because I literally finished this like, what is it, 388 page book while we were at the hospital. It's about this girl. She's the main character, and her brother is an addict, and they get into this car accident, right? Him, his sister, best friend, and then this other girl that they told they drive home from a party because she really wanted to leave. And that girl ends up unalive. His best friend ends up in juvie, and he ends up going to rehab, and his sister, the main character, broke like her knee or something to do with her knee, right? So he comes back from rehab. So it's all about like her recovery and how she feels about everything. I kind of liked it. There were some parts where I'm like, what is this girl doing? I do love the cover though. I am gonna give this a 3-star though, just because I really did enjoy some parts, but other parts I really didn't like. There were some parts where I was like, oh my god, like I really felt for her, and it was like, oh my god, this is so good. Also, it felt a little weird reading this at the hospital because it literally has a bunch of bells on the front. I thought it was really strange, right? Because her and her brother go back to school, and everyone was like not bullying them, but everyone like hated them, and they weren't the ones driving. They were just like in the accident, but like well, his sister like also got really hurt. I don't know why they like hated them so much, like especially the sister. Also, she was like innocent in this. She wasn't the one driving. Like she was just as scared. So I was a little confused by that, and I was like, what is going on? Why is everyone like so mad at her? But that's basically it. All my thoughts without fully spoiling it for you guys. I don't know, she kind of gave me the same vibes as the main character from what is it, Girl in Pieces, I think. She was like silent, she didn't talk a lot, so I don't know, I didn't really read the acknowledgements. I wonder if the author was writing about herself or stories or whatever. I don't know, does that make sense? Like the writer was writing the character as if it was her, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? I'm trying to see if I can like word that in a way that makes sense. Like, let's say I'm writing a book and like I'm shy and introverted and everything, and like all my characters in books are introverted. That's what I'm trying to get at. All our characters are very like introverted and like don't talk, or like don't talk a lot, or they like don't know what to say, and they're kind of like awkward in social interactions. And I feel like that's another thing that throws me off. Like every single other person, every character is like so chatty, whatever, they'll talk about anything and everything, and then the main characters are just like, I wish I could find the right word, and I'm like, literally just say something. I feel like because I read that one and this one, for me there's like no distinction between the two characters, and you know what, Other than every time I saw her name, I thought she was the same character. I'm not sure if we're gonna start the next book or not because it is pitch black in my house. I'll let you guys know. I'll give you an update later, and hopefully the lights are on by then. And once again, sorry for the terrible lighting. I don't think it's that different from the other videos I filmed because those also have terrible lighting. So maybe this is a step up. But I will see you guys later. Hi guys, we're on to our last book. This one is called After the Fire. I'm not sure if I mentioned already, but I got this at a school event. They had an assembly for fire safety, and these the two guys that are mentioned in the book, Sean and Alvaro, I believe, sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, they were there and they talked about their story, which was really, really heartbreaking. They had books there that you could buy, and they had read like a little portion, maybe like a paragraph or something about their story, and I thought it was written so beautifully. I was like, I have to read that book. So obviously, I ended up buying the book. I actually do have it signed by both Sean and Alvaro, which is really cool. It is a shorter book, so I think I can finish it by the end of the day. It's only 260 or 256 pages. So it's not a long book. I feel like I can't explain this, so I'll read the back to you because I've never seen anybody else read this book on booktube, but it is an amazing read. On January 19th, 2000, a fire raged through Seton Hall University's freshman dormitory, killing 3 students and injuring 58 others. Among the survivors were Sean Simons and Alvaro Lano, sorry if I'm mispronouncing their names, roommates from poor neighborhoods who had struggled to make it into college, and whose lives would now be forever changed by that one night. This is the story of the courageous fight both young men waged to reclaim their lives. It is a story of families and faith, of doctors and nurses who spend their lives tending to strangers touched by fire, and of these 2 young women who loved these men and would help them realize that true beauty is not a thing seen in mirrors. After the Fire is the most compelling story of survival that you will ever read this year, an undeniable reminder that grace can come from the most unexpected circumstances. The book isn't written by the 2 men, it's actually written by Robin Gaby Fisher, but I really loved her writing. Let me read you guys a paragraph. I can't remember which chapter it was they read at their presentation. Hopefully you guys enjoy this book and want to give it a read because I absolutely love this book. It's a fire drill, Al. Let's go. We have to go outside. Shaking off sleep, Alvaro finally dragged himself out of bed. In the dim glow of the single 40-watt light, the roommates pulled on their jeans and shirts from the night before. They slipped on their socks and sneakers, not bothering to tie the laces, then grabbed their winter jackets. Sean was one step ahead of Alvaro when he pulled open the door and stopped short. A fierce wave of blistering heat slammed him backwards, and a blast of sour-tasting black smoke stuck in his throat, choking him. "Oh my God," Sean whispered, his skin prickling with fear. "Oh my God, Al, this is real." The hallway was pitch dark, and Sean couldn't see anything. It was eerily quiet, except for the shrill burst of the fire alarm. Dropping to his knees, he took a deep breath and called to the right, into the blackness, toward the elevator he always took down to the first floor of the 6-story dormitory. He glanced back just in time to see Alvaro swallowed up by the smoke. In a building of 600 students, Sean suddenly felt alone, even though he figured Alvaro must be right on his heels. He pressed blindly forward on his hands and knees, squeezing his eyes tighter, his chest about to explode from holding his breath too long. The heat was punishing. He felt as if he were crawling on red-hot coals, and his palms kept sticking to the melting floor tiles. Hell must feel like this, he thought. That's all I'm going to leave you with, and we are going to get into this book. Just finished After the Fire, and it is 100% without a doubt a 5-star book. I know some people feel weird about giving non-fiction books star ratings. I get where they're coming from because it feels a little strange to give like a star to someone's like life story, but I am gonna give it a rating, and I am gonna rate it on Goodreads just because I feel like it does help them get their story out there more, if that makes sense. This is hands down the saddest book of this entire video, but I highly recommend reading this book. With that said, that's the end of the video. If you guys are interested in any of the books I've shown you guys today, I will try my best to have them all linked down below. Feel free to use my links if you're interested in any of these books. If you do use them, I want to let you know that I will earn a commission off of your purchase. It doesn't cost you any more money, it just helps me out a bit. So if you're interested, feel free. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment. And if you didn't, feel free to leave a hate comment down below. I'd love to hear your opinion. And I will see you guys tomorrow.